Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode. We're on Higurashi episode 17, Matsuri Bayashi, part 4, Conspiracy, maybe. Yeah. It's a good day, I guess. Actually, it was an average day, but yeah. What was it? I was gonna say something, but then I stalled so long. Oh yeah. I mentioned it last time, but I'll probably show on the screen a picture of a cicada somewhere. One popped up on my window. I'm like, hey, that means good luck. I mean, ever since I started this channel, I feel like every year in this, sometime in the summer, a cicada blesses me by going to my window and making really loud noises. But yeah, I mean, it came a little late this year, but that's 1 week of good luck. So this week should be a good week, hopefully. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, that's not it. I'll probably show another picture because not not tonight, but last night there's a really cool like it was a full moon and it looked really cool from my work because I was just chilling outside and it was like kind of orangey and there were like clouds in the sky, but since it was black you can't see anything, but the light in the moon made it look like really cool. I mean, I'll show you the picture, but my phone camera kind of sucked, so I don't know how how good it looked compared to like what it looked IRL. But yeah, just some cool pictures. But yeah, that's all I got. We should let's talk about the episode first. So we started the fragment stuff. They're going for more of a subtle thing instead of outright saying we're making a world for Rika. Um, it seems to be in a random order. Now it could be like the actual true order. I didn't actually check, but to me it just feels like it's in like a random order. I don't know. We'll see if they do anything with it or if they're just shooting them out. It doesn't really matter though. And my only other opinion is it does seem like just through last episode it seems like Takino's more, I don't want to say conniving, like more malicious in than it did in the visual novel, in my opinion. We kind of talked about that last time, though. That could just be my take on it. I don't know if it actually shows that much, but yeah, let's continue fragment watching. I expect this to go on for a bit, maybe minimum at least one more episode after this. But there's a lot, dude. There's like 50 or 60, and I think we probably did less than 10 last episode, so I did see like a couple episodes of Fragment connecting. Some are interesting, some are like medium, but yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll get some Irie backstory. This is something to look forward to, but we'll just have to see. So let's start the episode. Get your copy of the episode ready. We're gonna sync it up in from a countdown of 3, and of course, in the bottom right there will be a timer if you need help syncing up or if you ever need to pause. And at the end of the episode, we will do analysis and compare the episode to its visual novel counterpart and just a general review. But yeah, let's get started. Again, this is episode 17. Get ready in 3, 2, 1, go! Ooh, banter. I don't know. I've been talking kind of about reality TV, Love Island. I was on season 2, like maybe 2/3 of the way done. I did kind of put a hiatus on it just because I got interested in some of the eliminated contestants. Then I kind of found out some sad stuff about this season. Like one of them committed suicide. One's been in like permanent therapy, and the host committed suicide last year. It's just like a really bad string of events, and it's just like hard to watch knowing that two of the people on this season is going to die. So it's a good show. I mean, I understand how it could mentally damage someone though. So I'm chilling on that. Maybe I'll come back one day, but for now, I just can't vibe with it. But now I've shifted off to cooking reality TV shows, so I've been watching Top Chef Canada, which has been pretty good season 1. It's good. It's really low quality, but it's it's nice. And it's based in Toronto, so like everything looks really familiar, which is kind of rare. But yeah, that's been fun. But yeah, that's all I got. Satoko's mom. First time. Bro, look how they fell. Looks like they were diving into the water. Jesus. Freaking yeeted them off. Not the brain surgery. Right, I remember this now. And Rika gives Ire motivation to test the vaccine on her and save Satoko. Has that always been how you spell Hojo? I feel like I'm crazy whenever they say that in the subs. But maybe it's just because it's in the subs, huh? I always spelled Hojo Houjo without the extra U. But I don't know. And we got Rita's parents, that's right, they were previewed. Ah, they're showing this bit. Oh, because he dropped him off. Okay. It's not that much, but they didn't. Tiny little thing. Right. First time seeing Rita's mom too. I think I mentioned it last episode, but she is voiced by Beatrice's voice actor from Uminato. So very talented. She does kind like you don't hear it at first, but she does kind of sound like Chick Beatrice from the 6th arc. I don't even know if those arcs have names, to be honest. Never thought of that. I know they definitely do have names. Totally. But they're in English. Forgot what that was called. It doesn't matter. But I can't stop thinking of it. Whatever. Even though Rita's getting this information first, you think I guess I don't know how early she gains consciousness, because this is a wide variety of fragments, so who knows. If this is like little kid Rita, that's kind of insane. If it's not, then you know. Nice. Slightly tinier Rika. Ooh. Are they gonna touch on it? Okay, Mio. Okay, so this is their take on it. And the visual novel is just an eerie flashback. Yeah, what are you doing? Being a bully, Tatiana? I guess it's really hard to do Erie's backstory in the anime, to be honest. Since it's all like narration pretty much. I feel like this might be a combination of two. Because I remember this Takano talk, but this isn't like the fragment I was talking about for the backstory. It's fine though. Oh, this was okay. So this is so they're combining the backstory with this originally was a fragment from before he operated on the first murder for the first murder. Also, what was that Takano face looking up? It's a weird expression. But yeah, okay. I mean, I really love the Eerie scene, so it's kind of a bummer they didn't show the flashback, but again, it's harder. Wrote Asian Hitler and Takano in her white business suit. You love to see it. Wait, that is an Asian Hitler. He looks different. My bad. This was the high point, I believe, of the Erie clinic. Hmm. Right, this is the motivation from Rika to test the vaccine on her. The voice shift. Like they say, you gotta risk it for the biscuit. I mean, obviously Rika can say this too, just because she knows it's gonna work. So I don't really remember the Satoko speech. Actually, yes, I do. Okay, I do remember it. Never mind. Just tell me back to me. Obviously, fragments are harder to remember than any other part of the story. Okay, this is the creation of the emergency manual. There's Asian Hitler. Sorry, misidentified you. Tremble. And then it all goes downhill. What's our corner message for today? Takano, you're a bitch. Come on. Don't say that. I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you called her a bitch, because she kind of is. But, honestly, whatever. Good one. It's working, though. Wishy. You can't even interview her. She's freaking out. Unlucky Oishi. Just can't do it. This is where EA realizes Satoko yeeted the parents. Which then kind of ties into Totoro, how she also yeeted Teichi off a bridge. Maybe that's just her thing when she hits level 5. Look at Logic Lords Oishi. You love to see it. Look how happy Satoko's dad is. And the rare Satoko's mom again. The way they fall, dude, looks so silly. Maybe that's just a self-defense mechanism, though. If you get pushed off a cliff, you automatically go into a diving position. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's not silly. It just looks kind of derpy. Ooh, foggy. 38. Is that what a fever is? Because at work, we'd have to take our temperature before shift, and like the normal's 36. So I guess two above that is like a fever. I don't know anything about that stuff. I thought it would be more though, but I guess not. Yeah, so C103 is vaccine, and the one that starts with H is bad one. She's pissed. She looks different. I swear she had like purple hair in the other fragment we just saw. But maybe I was tripping. Nice. I remember how pissed Takano got. Pop off Rita's mom. They were never named, eh? Actually, they probably were named. They just never referred, even in their title thing over the chat box. There's always Rita's mom, I think. Interesting too. Fun fact: they changed the meeting. I believe they just had a conversation in front of the clinic, not all the way to their home. This is what starts to push Tatano over the edge. This is like the most fucked up one, to be fair. Because at least in my mind, without the idea that um, Takano planned the whole shit with the first murder, you know, going through therapy and stuff. This is like the one murder you like. I'm always like, yeah, you can forgive Takano, but she did kill Rita's parents. That was a laugh that turned into a cough, which is kind of fucked up. A lot. And I'm pretty sure they infected Rita's mom with the syndrome to experiment on her. Koizumi's dead? Wow, they did that. Okay, they combined it. Unlucky. This is the true downhill though. Funding has been cut. Oh no, this is Nomura. Wait, no, it's not Nomura. Wait. Okay, they're stringing this differently, huh? Going right bam 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 in one fragment. Interesting. We'll definitely talk about this in the analysis because it's framed a lot differently. It just makes these guys look more like snakes, eh? Uh, no. Interesting. This is definitely a way to speed it up, combining all of these. And this is to Nomura. Okay, okay. Hmm. Right. Oh, it's almost done. Jeez. End with Nomura. Hey, we'll finally see what Nomura looks like. Very interesting. Bro. Okay. She looks like... No, she doesn't. Never mind. She looks evil, though. Alright, that was the episode. Very interesting way to combine all those fragments to speed it up a bit. I actually think it's actually a pretty good job. think it's executed well. Now I will miss the scene that I said that I was looking forward to, where Takano emulates what she did as a kid and actually jumped on the floor as a grown woman, begging. Because you either find it funny, which I know some people did. I just found it like sad, probably because they were playing the Hollow music too. But yeah, also again, probably not be a post-credit scene because that's the new thing for this arc. See what they do. With that speed, nah. Still think there might be like 2 more episodes of fragments at least. Now that I think about it, because they have to do that really long Nakasaka stuff too, right? Ba ba ba. Okay, continuing Nomura. Like her color of her eyes. Very sharp eyes too. For some reason, if you're wondering, like, actually, I guess you can just bring it up in analysis. I was just trying to see what I imagine Nomura as, but nice nails too. Look how sketchy Nomura is, bro. I think I remembered mentioning it. I always thought she was like some incarnate of the god that helped Takano before. Dark Corners. Top 5 perverts. Okay. Keiichi's dad. 4th. Irie. Probably tomatoes there. Who else? Oh, Rena. Of course, Rena. Oh, Komeda didn't make the list. You're lucky, bro. You're lucky, bro. Keiichi. Or Rika. Ah. Okay. Interesting list. Okay, well, I think that confirms only 1 episode left. Hey, we're done. We're done. Thank you for watching. We're gonna do the analysis now, so welcome or goodbye. Good episode. Good episode. I think this is unlike the last episode, which felt um it felt almost like it felt very close to the source material in terms of the content of the fragments. This one felt like it did a lot more of it, a lot more like, what am I trying to say? They adapted it more for anime, changed stuff, and I think I liked it. I definitely liked the speed up for the Takano. I'm kind of neutral on the Irie scene. But yeah, let's go over this real quick. Um so oh yeah. So we got sort of a combination between, wait, no, shit. I forgot. Yeah, yeah. Right. Sorry. Mm, okay, so we got Erie's bat story. It was like cut into another scene about news of Satoto's trying to get her brain opened up if Irie doesn't do anything. I wait, is it that or was that later? It doesn't matter. Let's just talk about it now. Oh wait, yeah, it was later. But let's just talk about it now. um I really like the scene in the visual novel. I think this is a fine adaptation because it is kind of hard to do because it's a lot of over narration. Um, but you definitely like I said, at least in my opinion, the anime backstories are a little less impactful. You know, going back to Teichi's and even Rena's. Basically in the visual novel, they actually gave a proper flashback. I think this was like Irie was in med school, but before he was into the brain stuff. He had like a loving family, but his dad got injured, and when they started being abusive towards the wife and kind of alienated the whole family, and no one knew what was happening. And basically, he eventually died with the wife still hating him, even though Irie tried to convince her to come to the funeral to like convince her that it was because of a head injury and he wasn't just an evil person, but the wife was like so far gone that she just would never forgive him. So it's like on her deathbed too. I think it was on her deathbed. Um so it's like it was like done really well in the visual novel and a really rough situation that made you appreciate Irie. And you know, that drove him to like sort of become a great doctor, you know. I don't think they talked about it or they really mentioned it, but in he did like to further his research on the brain study, he did actually end up operating on people's brains without their permission, giving them lobotomies and stuff. Which obviously is horrible, but you know it's kind of like the connect to talking. All right, he's willing to take extreme risks to learn more about the brain to like help people not end up like his father and stuff. So very cool backstory. They just summarized it well enough. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up. And of course, Takano just being mocking, like a normal Takano, looking good in her nurse uniform, as per usual. Probably have to mention that every time it happens. We also had Rita's parents and Rita talking about the syndrome and Rita giving herself up to save Satoko, and obviously the mom's like, hell no, but yeah. Cool stuff. I like the mom. She's very opinionated, even though she doesn't have that much power, I feel. Um, at least in the structure, even though she is like part of the Fude blood. Like even in earlier it hasn't been shown in the visual novel or in the anime, but in the visual novel, even like Mayakashi and Himitsubushi, she would like still speak her mind out. Like whenever they have a Hinamizawa meeting, it was always Oryu giving orders, Kimiyoshi also talking, but even Rita's mom would just pop off if she wanted to, and no one could really say much. I mean, they could, but she wouldn't care. So she's a cool character. Also, maybe I was seeing things because her hair does look black in that flashback. Because I mentioned I thought it looked blue, but yeah. And yeah, Rita's self-sacrifice helped get that vaccine for Satoko. Best friends for life, basically. And she gives her a little motivation speech to Irie to make him test the vaccine. I guess he does it anyways, but obviously because Rita knows about the future, she can just she knows it's gonna work, so she can easily say that. Again, it's hard to because these are fragments from all over different worlds, so it's hard to tell like which world where Rita was conscious about what's happening and which one was not. Because like when she gave herself up, it could be either or. Like obviously it made sense that if she was conscious about the future that she would do it. And I mean it's really impressive if she wasn't, since it's such a big sacrifice for a little kid. But yeah, that was done well, I think. Um, little after party with Tatano getting high praise, getting the emergency manual complete. This is like the ERA clinic at its peak. um, ERA learning about Satoko yeeting the parents off the bridge. I feel like maybe this scene isn't as like cool than in the visual novel, just because in the visual novel they never show, because in this one they literally show at the beginning of the episode Satoko yeeting her parents off. I think they showed it before too. Like you can guess it, but like I don't know, there's not much of a point of showing the scene if you already know, if it's already confirmed that Satoko did it, right? Because this is in the visual novel, this was the confirmation that Satoko did it. But it is funny watching them dive in. Rare Satoko's mom. Maybe a glimpse of what Satoko would look like if she was older. There's always an interesting question. I remember in the visual novel, one of the things I asked, like, oh, what do you, or I was like hypothesis or thinking about, I guess, like how would the characters act as adults? And I feel like you can mostly see everyone as an adult, like Rena, Rika, Mian. Mian's a little different. Mian's a little harder to tell, but and Kichi's a little harder, but you can see the basic things. Like I had no idea how Satoko would act as an adult, to be fair. Um, but yeah, that's kind of good as an adult. If you, I mean, just comparing the mom, obviously it's not a one-to-one thing, but also rare Satoko drip wearing some Rika overalls, stealing the swag. But unfortunate. Angry Rika mom. This is interesting. So the way they changed this, obviously they changed the setting where they had the talk with the parents, but I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I guess it's fine. I guess it is fine, just because it's so sped up. This is the start of the speed up. Wait, no, it's not the start of the speed up. Actually, it is the start of the speed up. So, obviously, Rita's mom's like, no, Rita's not doing that anymore. Tatsuno's like, oh, I'm freaking out, Then in the anime, they just skip to basically saying that Tatsuno planned the death of the two parents. In the visual novel, it was turned very different. But this is like what I was saying at the beginning of the episode. It does feel like Tatsuno is more malicious, because in the visual novel, Tatsuno was at a loss what to do. She had no idea, and it was actually Okanodi who suggested that they take care of the problem. It's like Tatsuno didn't have this idea, oh, I should just kill these people, until Okanodi brought it up. So, which is a huge difference, right? Obviously, Tatsuno still was like, oh yeah, we can just kill them, but I feel like it's just a difference in Tatsuno's character, at least how they're portraying her. And then she kind of goes on like a little power trip because of that. She's like, oh my god, we killed these two people, we solved this hurdle. I should have just been using these dies from the beginning, they're so useful. Which also kind of makes me think that my idea that Tatsuno set up the first murder is false. So yeah, but it does kind of come off much different in the visual novel, huh? So I do like seeing Tatsuno bragging on the chair. It looks cool. Then Koizumi dies, and then they go right into the meeting. So this is framed differently too. So Koizumi dies. Obviously, Tatsuno's sad. And she's more depressed for a while since, Koizumi was almost like not a father figure, because the grandfather was like a father figure, but like one of the few people who she really trusted. They kind of skipped the scene where she was talking to Tomotaki, and she actually reveals that she and Takano, the Hifumi, are related. Because it's kind of funny, but nobody actually knows besides Koizumi that Takano and Hifumi are related. Well, quote unquote related, like father, adopted daughter, and father. I think they just like Takano changed her name slightly in the spelling, so the last name doesn't match the other Takano. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. But they skipped that. Some more bonding with Tomotaki, and it's more like just a depressed spree where Tomotaki just can't cheer Takano up. They had like another one where they were walking together. Um, and yeah, it's sort of like a moment where Tomotaki and even Iri is like, oh, I wish Takano's depressed. I wish we could help her somehow. And it leads to later where Tomotaki's like, oh, I saw the signs that Takano's vulnerable right now. I wish I should have done something to support her at that time. So they kind of cut that out. And then she didn't get kidnapped to a meeting. Basically they came in since Koizumi's gone, and he was a huge power faction in Tokyo. This new generation came in that are less um obsessed with like war and stuff. So they basically said, oh, and they basically just to like cut down the Koizumi faction, they started like trashing most of his projects, which obviously included the Hinamizawa syndrome project. So they actually like in like a annual meeting or whatever at the clinic, not annual, but a meeting at the clinic, they were informed that their budget would be cut. And that's what prompted Takano to actually go to Tokyo, and she made a brand new report to explain their progress and why it's important. So obviously very different framing. Takano was given a lot more time in the visual novel to show that she's depressed and vulnerable. While this one, it just goes quick, quick, quick. And she wasn't brought there like to be mocked or whatever. I mean, she was, but Takano went on her own will. And another difference is this whole committee was like in the visual novel was like completely changed except for one person. Because again, it's a new generation, new faction, so obviously all the old faction members got kicked out with some younger people, um, which is obviously a very different mood. Because in the anime, it portrays these guys as people who didn't really care, except and only cared because of Koizumi's influence, which I'm sure it's definitely some of them were, but there were a lot of nationalist type people in the Koizumi faction. So I do legitimately believe some of them actually like truly believed in Takano's research. So, but I'm sure some just cared about Koizumi. But I'm sure there was a nice mix that actually believed in Takano's research. So this just paints a different picture where these guys just didn't care about the research at all and only cared about Koizumi. So it's interesting. But again, they're just going for a different narrative. And again, the difference in the visual novel is, well, these guys were just upfront to her. In the visual novel, Takano gave her presentation. The guys were, they were polite, and Takano thought she did a good job. And when she said she wanted to go to the washroom or whatever, she like listened in, and they were just shit talking behind her back. Obviously, a lot of the words were similar to Hifumi's roast, and then they actually drop her thing to the floor, and Takano literally leaps down like how she did in her backstory, which was I believe was like one of the best fragments. So again, I'm sad to see it not here, but it's fine. It's just framed really different. But like I said, this is very efficient. But obviously, Takano fails to get the budget in the visual novel. And that's when she's at her all-time low. It also said she's really drunk, and that's when Nomura picks her up at her lowest point. So obviously very different in the anime. I don't hate it though. Like even though they changed it heavily, it flows very nice with how they did it. It does lose some of its quality, not letting Takano, after going slowly to a high, letting the letting the downfall like go slow. Because in the anime, it's just kind of like boop. In the visual novel, it's kind of like woo. So yeah, it loses a little bit of its goodness, but again, I think it's actually like pretty well done. Like they wanted to speed it up. They made it very cohesive and coherent. I don't feel like, sure, I miss the scenes I love, but it feels like it flows well, which is good. If you're gonna change stuff, at least make it flow well, right? We also get our first appearance of Nomura, looking very evil. In my mind, since they never had a spray for Nomura, I always like thought like, I don't know, that's my image of Japanese secretaries, like shoulder length hair with like cut bangs. like I thought also either brown or black hair. So she totally looks different. She actually looks like a freaking witch, dude. But I did it. I did it. But yeah, overall good episode. Like I said, they changed a lot more. Like they adapted it differently a lot more. But overall, pretty good changes. It also flowed more. Like in the last one, it was just random fragment everywhere. And this one, the fragments felt like they actually flowed a bit better. Yeah. Top 5 perverts. Good meme. Is this what our top 5 pervert list would be? I agree with putting Keiichi's dad. He's the low key pervert. What's fourth? Fourth is Irie. Irie deserves to be on the list. Rena deserves to be on the list. Oryu. I feel like Oryu is the weak link, to be fair. Because you also have Keiichi, Lord of Darkness, and you have Kameda, the food pervert. I feel like those are definitely strong contenders for the list, but decent list. I respect it. But yeah, apparently, I think next episode's gonna be the last bit of fragments. I think it goes over Satoshi's story. You finally find the truth to that. And I think they're not gonna show the Akasaka stuff. I think they'll do that next episode. The hype stuff with Akasaka. So I'll have to wait until then. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a pretty fun time. And yeah, next time, final episode of Fragment Collecting should be fun. But until then, see ya.